everyone. Good morning, greetings. Welcome to the Glass World. I'm Dan the Glass Man. And once again, we're going to be working on some of the drop of water here. Why? Because water is life and every drop counts, and that's pretty much what I do. So, hope you don't get bored with always just watching me make water drops and talking about water, but water is extremely important. Without water, none of us would survive. And so, I've taken upon myself to dedicate my life, to dedicate my artwork, my glass blowing here to the mission of water is life, and basically to help spread information, knowledge, to create awareness, to raise awareness for all the different water atrocities, the water crises that we all face today, and how we all can do at least one thing in our life every day to really make a difference with water and changing our relationship with water. So that's what I do and why I'm here. I'm going to try to back this up just a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on. There we go. It's going to be a little bit crooked. I want you guys to be able to see the board here at least while we're working. So we're going to get started with some more drops here. I'm going to take this rod here and we'll cut this one in half. Always with the Norwex. The Norwex OptiCloth to clean all of the dust, dirt, and debris and fingerprints from the glass. And then also by having a Norwex EnviroCloth is also really, really handy for removing all of your oils from your fingers before you're even touching the glass. That way you don't get any sort of fingerprints on your glass after you just wiped it clean. Alright, so we're going to be making some of these, the drop of water, the original. Well, these are actually the second version, but they're now the original, the drop of water. These are the clear ones, the ones that we've been giving out to those who went to Standing Rock, those who were on different water pipeline water actions that were protesting against oil pipelines and many other different things. And so we've gifted out water drops to many water protectors of many different facets from all over the world. People from ordinary life all the way to celebrities, individuals in the White House, people all over the world. You know, we have world leaders, individuals who talk on behalf of nations. You know, the drop of water has been gifted out to so many different individuals, and it's touched the hearts of men all over this globe, all over the world. So just taking in some water, a little copper water, always good. Okay, let's see if we can get this. I think the computer froze up. We may have to restart it here. Alright, so I'm on a mission right now. I'm making 100 of these, at least 100 of the clear water drops here. Oops, forgot I'm wearing my beanie. Let me put the glasses on and then I'll put the beanie over it. There we go. That's better. I don't know why I felt like wearing my beanie today. I don't know. I guess it felt a little cold. We got this winter storm coming in, which, a lot of us really do love. I love the fact that we're getting all this precipitation coming in, which is a beautiful thing. Many of us love water. Truly, truly, truly do love water. Whether it comes in the form of ice or snow or whatever it is, still water, still precipitation and moisture. We still need it for our ground. But one thing though, and I don't know if many of you guys are paying attention, but this week, right now, this storm that's hitting us is going to be a very brutal storm. And it's going to go across the entire nation. It's spanning across the entire nation. Will be affecting 35 different states all at once. So the southern states, probably like Florida, maybe Arizona, maybe New Mexico, I don't know, California. Maybe they won't be affected so bad. Georgia, Arkansas, Louisiana, maybe a few of those. But pretty much 35 states, so only 15 states, if you can imagine, are not going to be affected by this. And, we got a lot of issues that are going on right now that are creating a lot of environmental impacts on the planet. And it's going to be causing a lot of pollution and a lot of issues, a lot of contamination with our water, our air, and our soil. And being that I'm here with the Drop of Water, our mission here on, protecting the water to educate others on clean drinking water. Well, part of this is all about educating people on what's going on in current events, such as the things that are happening up there in East Palestine, Ohio, and all those chemicals, the chemical plume that just came up everywhere. And so there's a lot of individuals right now who are going to be suffering by drinking that water there, by bathing in it. There's individuals who are still there, and they're bathing, they're showering in the water. I don't know why. I personally would not be there still. If I had to go off to the side and go camp out in the creek somewhere on the west side of East Palestine, I would, like whatever needs to be done, unless you just really are like, well, okay, I'll just accept my doom, I'll accept my fate, that I'm just going to have, leukemia or lymphoma or any sort of different cancer that from all these chemicals. If you just want to accept your demise and your doom there, well, you can easily just stay in place, pretend like it's not going to affect you. It might affect others, but it's not going to affect you. And you can continue to pretend that way. And that's what's happening in so many different regions around the world, right? We got all these things going on, and people watch it like it's just television. And that's one thing that I picked up from that movie White Noise, is that it actually came from a book, and the author was basically trying to point out the fact that all these scenarios and these events, these incredible disasters, people watch them for entertainment purposes. People watch them as though it's just another thing to watch on TV, just so they can get their oohs and their ahs. And yeah, nowadays people are like, they can communicate back and leave comments in the comment section like, oh, my thoughts and prayers are with you. My thoughts and prayers. So now we got viewers like watching everything on, like it's television, right? But now they can interact with the television. So now we got this interaction going on. But, all they can really do is send thoughts and prayers. Maybe some individuals will send some monetary help or supplies or things like that. But ain't no one really like stepping up and trying to go find whoever's responsible. Norfolk South, the train. Apparently the individual who owns it, runs it, operates it, or whatever, whoever is their representative, isn't showing up at town hall meetings, but then just the other day, like, snuck into town, right? And did a real quick meeting or something, and people are like, what? I didn't even know he was here. We've been waiting to talk with him, trying to get some answers. So, if people really did care about what was going on, they wouldn't just watch it. They'd go reprimand this individual. They'd go apprehend him and hold him accountable. Straight up. All these individuals that are doing all these wrongdoers these days all need to be apprehended and held accountable. That's all I can really think. I don't really know what else we can do at this point besides allow them to continue to desecrate our world, our environment, our planet, our towns, our communities, our families, our children. If we're going to continue to just allow them to destroy it, then we might as well just turn a blind eye, go back to ignorance is bliss, and just forget it. Just, don't worry about your thoughts and prayers, just go back to just watching Jeopardy or Price is Right or, whatever you want to watch on the stream nowadays with all of the, everyone's always been, ever since the Roman days and the Roman Colosseums, everyone's been distracted by sports and athletes, and all these different competitions, and then filmmaking and movies and celebrities, and everyone's so distracted with this Hollywood, the ceremonies and the different things that they bring everyone into through their big screen, right? You got everyone watching all the rituals and everything that's going on the big screen, and it's interesting because no one's going to ever do anything about it. And I'll continue to just do what I can here by sharing this information, this knowledge, hoping others, such as yourselves, will share this out, so then others may share it out, so then others may share it out. But, if you don't share it, no one else is going to. So, and I ain't going to force you to share it. I ain't going to ask you to share it. I'm just letting you know that that's probably the best thing that can be done here. You ain't going to get up off the couch and do anything about this. You're not going to go to East Palestine and try to talk some sense into these folks and let them know, yo, get out. Let me help you grab whatever you need. But you know what? You probably don't want to be grabbing anything from your home, putting it into your car and taking it with you. I mean, even the vehicles alone are completely contaminated, right? They all have the air intake system, and as soon as you start up the vehicle, your vehicle's intaking all those contaminants and probably pushing it into your airflow and your air conditioner. People probably running with their heaters on, blowing all that back into the cab of the vehicle. People don't think about these things. They don't understand what fallout means. They played the video game many times, but it's just a video game. You can always, after game over, you can always start over again. You guys have been training for so long on video games and these simulations and stuff, but then when the real thing happens, it's like, oh, I still have an extra quarter, right? Desecrating our water, polluting it, contaminating it, there is no do-over. There is no other quarter for the waters. Once it's polluted, it's polluted. And you're going to have to wait for the cycle, the life cycle of a water drop to occur, so it can basically be removed again and again and again of the toxins that it has through evaporation and the whole condensation, the rain cycle. And we're going to have to wait for this acid rain to drop, and it's going to drop everywhere, and then all the water is there going to have to evaporate up. So it's going to slowly dissipate out, right? It's going to slowly all fall back down into the soil, into the earth, and then, yes, the groundwater will be contaminated for a while until all of that, finally, everything just settles, right? You get all the sediment on the bottom, right? And it all just settles. And then finally, I don't know, after, 10, 20, 30, 50 years, 100 years, whatever it takes, eventually, that natural system will cleanse itself, and the earth will bring itself back to new, and will hide all the pollutants, all the toxins, and will filter it out as best as it can for itself. But for right now, the humans who are a part of this event, all the individuals that are there, the interviewers that are there, all the reporters, they're all putting themselves in harm's way. I just did a video earlier today. It's uploading right now on YouTube, and talking about how the governor of Ohio came in on February 6th. I think was the only time, really, or one of the only times that he came in, and he was showing a map and basically stating that everyone in the red zone pretty much you're done for, fatal. Everyone in the orange zone will have severe health issues. Like, it's already too late, is what he said. This is on February 6th. And then there's been no word from him. He didn't come back to the town hall meeting on February 11th. So yeah, there's a lot of people hiding. A lot of, that they're not staying in that town. The governor will come in and be like, oh yeah, I'll drink this water. I'll even bring my family and my kids. They'll drink this water. Like, no, you won't. And then people are like, well, go on ahead and drink it. And he just ignored that and just kept moving on to the next question. Next interview, please. Next reporter, please. Like, oh yeah, you'll drink the water, but then when they tell you, okay, well, go on ahead, drink this water, they're bringing you water, you ain't gonna drink it? See, that's what me personally, I would probably be going over there with gallons of water, if I was dumb enough to stick around in Ohio. I would be collecting the water, using whatever I possibly could to protect myself while collecting it, putting it into glass containers, because it's probably highly corrosive with plastic. You probably can't put any of that into a plastic milk jug or anything like that, because those containers will start to break down from the contaminants, and then it'll leach in other chemicals and things, and you won't have a true reading. So you need to put it in glass containers, test tubes, things like that. And then you want to get it to the proper authorities and have them test it, check it out. But yeah, like, I would probably have some water saved up at this point. I would have probably saved it, in that first week. After the fallout, after it all had spread and gone everywhere, go to the creek, grab some of that water. I don't know if any of the news reporters did that. They were throwing rocks in there. They were skimming the bottom with the sticks and looking for all of the oily, iridescent looking shimmer that's on the top of the water there, or what's already seeped into the soil that's just coming up. Yeah, I don't know if any of them are wise enough to be grabbing any of their own water to test themselves. Are you really going to wait for our local officials or the government, the feds, to come in, and you're really going to rely on true data from them? After the last 3 years of them lying to us about so much, and now truth is out, you really have confidence in them still? truly, I feel sad for you if you do. I feel pity on those of you who still trust these powers that be. They ain't out there to worry about your best interest. That dollars. You always got to look at that bottom line to see where the profits are going, who's getting profit, who's profiting from this. Like the companies now that are going to be coming in, they're going to be making tons of profits. We got cleaning companies coming in. The one gentleman said he's going to have to pay upwards of like $700 to have some individuals come in and clean his home. And now, are these people even hazmat certified? Or is it going to be the church ladies coming in from the ministry from a few towns over to offer their godly devotional service? Is that the case? Is that what's going to be happening? So, there's a lot really going on right now. And there's so much happening that it's so hard to pay attention, guys. And so, as an advocate for clean drinking water, I have to speak up on this. I have to. This is part of my job. My duty is to stand up for clean drinking water for all, and that includes these Palestinian residents and everyone in Ohio and everyone to the east in Pennsylvania and everyone to the southeast and the northeast of that whole area. I've heard that people are now feeling effects as far north as Canada and as far south as Florida. I don't know if this is confirmed yet. I know what is confirmed is 35 miles away in Pennsylvania, people are feeling this effect. There's individual channels that I subscribe to a lot of you guys on YouTube. I would really love it if I got that subscription back, but I know that's not how it works. I subscribe to many of y'all so I can get those updates from you, because a lot of you are actually crazy enough to be there and to be boots on the ground. I'm not. I would not be out there. I was commenting on the reporter earlier, like, man, thank you so much for this coverage and for risking your life and your health. All of you who are out there right now really need to get your blood tested. And I don't know what sort of compensation anyone would have who is not a resident there. Anyone who volunteered to come in on their own, you think they're going to get any sort of compensation? They volunteered to be there. They didn't have to be there. They weren't forced to live there and reside there. They're not losing businesses there. They're not having to shut down and close shop. Lose money, lose revenue from not being able to work, sending your employees home or sending them away out of state. How are you supposed to run a business if all of your employees are moving out of state? One of those individuals who was interviewed this morning said he's moving all the way to, I think he said to San Antonio or El Paso, Texas, something like that. Like, he's getting far away from there, but hopefully he's on the other side of that chemical spill that's out there in Texas right now, right? Because there's things happening everywhere. Tucson, Arizona, they had the nitric acid spill, which I don't know if many of you guys are paying attention to any of that. You have the huge plastic plant, all of these planters, people like myself who we buy a lot of plants and plant them. We have these plants that come in the plastic pots, right? Well, there's a huge plastic pot plant. That's interesting. A plastic pot plant. So a plastic, like they make plastic pots. It's not like a pot plant. Like, I don't even call it that. I call it cannabis or ganja. So, but it's weird. So a plant, you know, a manufacturing plant that manufactures plant pots for planting for, you know, seedlings and trees and those shrubberies, you know, the finest of all the shrubberies in all the Shire. And so this place is going up in smoke, lots of chemicals in the air there in Florida. So Florida's all contaminated, and you got everything from Texas all the way through in different areas, others train derailments with chemicals, more happening in Ohio, 2 more in near Detroit, Michigan, which is just right there, you know, just so coincidentally nearby. And everything is just perfectly in that jet stream that'll just move it from Texas and all the way up through the East Coast and bam, all the way to Maine. And that's how it's going to work, guys. And everything is going to get covered. That's east of East Palestine. Anything east of East Palestine will be covered in this soot, in this toxic chemical sludge, whatever. We're going to see acid rain, acid snow. It's going to be really interesting. I wonder if people are going to be able to light it on fire. You know, all those videos of people lighting snow on fire. That's so weird. So people lighting their taps on fire. So they got natural gas going through their taps. That's weird. That's supposed to be drinking water, not natural gas. Not supposed to be able to hook that up to your vehicle and drive away. I wouldn't do that. You get water in your fuel tank. You don't want that. So I'm sitting here working on the drop of water. We're working on another row of 9 right here. And, you know, after 9, and we start another row. And we'll have 4 rows complete here in a moment. And then that'll leave us with 37 total. Well, we'll have 36 in rows of 9. And we'll make 1 more at the end here. So what do y'all think about what's going on around the whole, everywhere? I mean, including Turkey right now. Turkey is getting pummeled, and they're going to have some issues. They have huge crevices opening up. You know, they got the start of the Grand Canyon there. Water's going to be flowing through that. And of course, you know, you got all the different chemicals and everything, the flame retardants, like everything into fire extinguishers and all that stuff, all the chemicals. It's all getting sprayed everywhere on top of everything, desecrating everything. We have a lot of pollution. We have a lot of environmental issues going on right now. And not too many people speak up about it. And I don't know why. I don't know if people just, they don't know what to do, so they don't know what to say. You know, I personally know that as a householder, you know, that means, for me, personally as a householder, well, that means that I basically have dedicated my life to my household through Krishna consciousness. I'm a devotee of Krishna, of Hinduism. I believe that we are all born as Hindus, that we are all native to this earth. We are all Hindu or indigenous to this earth. We are all from humanity. You know, we're all humans, human beings, all humanity. All from the sacred indigenous or Hindu tribes. We're all Hindu. They're indigenous. And so, knowing about all this knowledge and all these things, you know, I understand our role here is that we're supposed to be protectors of this vessel, guardians of this planet. We're supposed to help creators and become co-creators and create a beautiful utopia here. We've been gifted with everything, gifted and blessed with everything that we could ever want and need and desire for living, for surviving, for well, not even for surviving, but basically sustaining life here on this planet. And, you know, just as an individual who understands that all of this is happening, it's up to us to protect this vessel, to protect the water, to protect the air, and to stop desecrating our planet in our own ways, you know. And so I personally have taken it upon myself to do what I can to share this knowledge, to share this information, to let individuals know what's really going on in this world and on this planet, and that we really can make a difference here. You know, we all truly can make a difference if we wanted to. But we really have to get away from the distractions and understand how they hold us down. They keep us feeling in a way that, you know, that we don't matter, that all we are is just worker bees, right? And they want us to feel like your life doesn't matter, your eternal spirit soul doesn't matter, that you're not a part of anything that's going on with this whole macro cosmic dynamic that's going on, that you're just a little tiny minuscule of it, and it doesn't matter if you're gone. But the whole thing works. I mean, the whole earth is all put together by these tiny little cells, all held together by the Higgs boson particle, which magically just holds it all together. So that vibration and that frequency, that magnetic energy that holds it all together doesn't fall apart. That magnetic energy, you know, there's always the north and the south that's all like polarizing, right? Opposite. But you got something within that center that brings it all together still. What holds the magnet together? What holds the north to the south? That's the Higgs boson. That's the great mystery. That's the great mystery right there. So, you know, everyone knows that I partake. It's recreational here. I'm trying not to get my videos dinged anymore. That's all. So I'm just trying my best to not get dinged here. But, we're working on the drop of water here, 100 of these clear drops. That way they can be gifted out to many individuals from all over the world. These ones specifically, the 100 that I'm making, is for a friend of mine in Canada who also joined in and created his own The Drop of Water campaign. So just so you know, The Drop of Water, that's me, and it's an entity that's underneath Gardunoglass. So I'm down for The Drop of Water, and The Drop of Water, as its own separate entity, is basically it gives out water drops to individuals from all over the world, and also sells the water drops for $10 each to recoup that gifting cost. And so the Drop of Water can continue to gift out more drops over and over again. Now, me personally, I am a representative of the Drop of Water. I'm a representative of Gardunoglass. I represent myself, Dan the Glassman, personally. I represent the Glassman's world here on YouTube. And so I personally, as Dan the Glassman, I fulfill a lot of different hats, or I wear a lot of different hats. And I juggle quite a lot of different pins or balls or whatever you want to call it. I juggle. I do quite a bit here. You know, I also do my best to be my own independent journalist, and I bring you my own opinionated, I'll put that there, my own opinionated news stories. Because if it's my own opinion, then I'm not bringing it to you as factual data or factual information. You know, this right here is just entertainment purposes, right? Just so I can be here to entertain you. Right? It doesn't matter what I'm talking about. Whether it's factual, nonfiction, truth, real. what's been hidden, what's behind the veil, behind the closed curtains, what they don't want you to know about. You know, even though I'm talking about all those different things, this here is just an opinionated storytelling, right? I'm just telling stories here. I'm just sharing my stories with you, and that's all. It's like, you know, the movies, whether you're like, wow, that's like made from actual real events, and then at the end it's like, this movie does not portray any real or fictional characters or blah, 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 based on certain, you know, they got to like always put that disclaimer there, right? So there's my disclaimer. This is all for entertainment purposes. And so the Glassman's world, that's all it is. It's just all entertainment here. Whether it be factual, fictional, non-fictional, whatever it is, it's all entertainment here. And hopefully I'm entertaining you. I'm entertaining your mind and your thoughts. Entertaining different ideas and theories and ideologies. Right? Let's just entertain this other thought. These other ways that's not always going with the mainstream media. This is not mainstream. This is side stream. This is like the circus sideshow media. We're like circus sideshow Bob. You know how intelligent he was, right? Yeah, he was portrayed as a clown who knew quite a bit. Right? So, the drop of water here will be gifted out to many individuals. World Water Day is coming up March 22nd. Every year, March 22nd is World Water Day. I don't know what day of the week that falls upon, but I would love to be able to, I'm going to try to put this together. That's going to give us only 2 or 3 weeks from right now to make this happen, but we probably could make this happen. I would need to make an additional like 100 drops or more, and that would be by March 22nd, which I can easily have that done as well. And the whole thing is we would be teaming up with New Mexico Treasure Hunt. We planned this out right before the pandemic hit, many 3 years ago. Almost 3-year anniversary coming up, you guys. And we joined with them, and we were going to basically have people pick up trash along the bosque, which we're doing this Saturday with another group, with ABQ Cleanup. And so this Saturday I'll be gifting out some of these water drops. Well, not these ones. I'll be making more. So we'll be gifting out the drop of water to individuals who are picking up a lot of trash around Tingley Beach in the Bosque there this coming Saturday. And it's my own personal endeavor. I haven't actually paired up with this cleanup ABQ team or group or whatever they are, local organization. I'm personally just going to be gifting individuals that I feel are cleaning up and doing the best job that they possibly can and helping to clean up our bosque and the riverway there. So it's my own personal thing, coming all out of my own pocket. And that's why I do my best to have the drop of water recoup the gifting cost by selling the drop of water for $10 or 3 for $20. Always they're $10 each or 3 for $20. So you get one free one when you purchase. When you get 2, you get 1 for free, basically. We always will have that. They're $10 each or 3 for $20, and that'll always be going on around the world. So whatever it is, $10 US, whatever it is in francs or in yen or in whatever, Canadian dollars, whatever it is, in pesos, whatever it converts to, it's 10 US dollars is the value. And then, of course, if we got to do any sort of shipping, you know, it's better to buy in bulk. That way you only pay for the shipping cost once. And I can usually ship, a few dozen for the same cost of shipping one. So it's better to just purchase them in bulk. And then at that point, I have even better deals for you instead of the buy, 3 for $20 or the buy 2 get 1 free deal. I'll make sure to get you a really good deal, wholesale or close to wholesale cost. And then if you actually become an individual who would want to be like Michael Cole and take it upon yourself to start up your own water campaign, and that's the other thing too, is the Drop of Water is available to those of you who already have Water is Life campaigns, water campaigns, the Drop of Water campaigns, ocean campaigns, cleaning up the ocean bound, sea breeze, sea bound, sea bin, all these different groups and companies and everything, you got the World Water Watch and all these different companies, organizations, groups, individuals, anyone who wants to have a symbol to represent water that you could wear with your team, and everyone on your team has the Drop of Water, everyone wears this. You all recognize one another. It's kind of like, the police officers all recognize each other because they all wear the same badges, right? Well, water protectors all wear the same badge as well. We all have the Drop of Water, and maybe not all yet, but I will do my best to gift out as many of you water protectors as I can in my lifetime, and we are doing our best to actually establish a way and a means for the Drop of Water legacy to continue on even when I'm gone. And that way this will just continue on for all of eternity until some entity or someone somehow shuts it down. But until then, and until water is not life, until we no longer need water to sustain life, we're going to continue to do this, whether I'm still alive and on this planet or not. That's my guarantee, guys. So this is a beautiful thing that we've created that's going to continue to give. It's the gift that keeps on giving, guys. That's what the Drop of Water is. And for every purchase that you make, well, that just helps me to continue. I don't know exactly, like, for every one I can gift out 1 or 2 or whatever. It's all been coming out of pocket. I am not rich. I live in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment that basically has a rental value of under $1,000. We don't live in any big means. This room here is my storage facility because I can't even afford to have a storage unit off-site here. Well, right now, currently, maybe soon I can again. But there's a lot of individuals who really feel like I've become rich off of what they want to call a crisis, and some people want to call it their own personal plight, because they personally have stood up and fought against the atrocities, the individuals, the tyrants who want to desecrate our water. And some individuals want to put me in with these tyrants and try to call me out for becoming rich off of a water crisis. Basically is what they're saying. No matter what it's from, where, whatever, what location, what individual, what community they're part of, or whatever it is. I just want you to know I've gifted out 3,766 of these. You multiply that times $10. If I were able to sell all those at $10 each, well, there's the gifting cost right there. That's way over 37,000, right? $37,660 worth of these. I gifted out from my own pocket. $37,660 worth of drops. That's a lot. Now people want to be all, oh, well, the supply doesn't cost you that much. I mean, you buy your glass at wholesale, you know, and you can make them all day and you wholesale them for this much. It's like, you don't understand. You don't get it. Like, yeah, you want to bottom line me? You're not gonna give me any benefit of the time and my energy that I put into this. You just want to have the material cost paid for. You don't want to have the experience of the 27 years that it took for me to be able to get to the point that I can make these as quick as I can and as identical as I can. Get any other glass blower on a torch. Have them make a dozen of these for you and see how identical they are. I'm talking any glass artist. Have them get on the torch, see how identical they are. Now, good luck getting any glass artist, any other glass artist, to just sit around and make a bunch of clear water drops. Because they're already inundated with all their other orders that they have. They don't have time to be sitting around just making these to gift them out. No other glass blower in the world is sitting around on their torch making these for the purpose of gifting them. Now, of course, I make extras on the side so I can sell those, but I guarantee you I've made less than $10,000 in sales, but I've gifted out close to $40,000 in gifts. Ta-da! That's my gift to you. Why? Because water is life and every drop counts. Because I am an Hindu. I've devoted my time, my life, my energy to Krishna, to Krishna consciousness, to become a steward and a guardian of this vessel. And that I basically am just honoring individuals for basically doing what they're supposed to be doing anyways. And I know that I'm also blessed through Krishna, so I'm able to afford to do this devotional service because it's all for Creator, through Creator, by Creator. And that's why the drop of water came to be and how it continues to exist to this day. Through all the trials and the tribulations from even my own supporters and all the crazy setbacks and detours and everything, obstacles that they want to put in my way. They don't understand that this was gifted to me by Creator, and now it's my gift to you. And that's what the drop of water is. It's a gift that will keep on gifting. And very soon, we're going to have these being made all over the world, starting in select locations. You know, we'll start small and build big. Right? We're going to build this back better, right? I like to take their slogans and turn them into my own, right? It's like they're all about the Great Reset, but I'm about a greater reset. The greatest reset. That's what I'm all about. Let's reset all of our minds, our hearts, and our souls. And let's not worry about their monetary, materialistic reset. That's all they care about. They're like, let's reset the systems that we have in place so we can control man a little bit better. Wake up. Hey. Beep, 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 beep. The alarm's going off. Wake up. Don't hit that snooze button. You need to get up. Gitambol. Seize the day. Carpe diem. Don't waste no time. Stay in the flow. Constantly in the flow. Stay in the know. Always in the know. And also learn to let go. Give it all to God. Give it all to Krishna. Hare Krishna. Give it all to Creator. Let God sort it out. We're not given anything that we're not able to get through. And some individuals, they just give up because they don't have any faith in God. They don't realize that God will never give us anything we can't ever endure and get through. But, you know, quitters will always quit a little bit too soon, right? And it's sad. But they never had faith in God. And I was there at one point. I was almost a quitter too. And on that day, through the grace of God, I was sent straight to Krishna. Hours before that, I did not even know who Krishna was. That's the beauty with Creator. And if you do connect with Creator, and you can actually learn to communicate with Creator, and you can actually hear all of the different messages, and you can understand that, hey, maybe this is the one I'm supposed to take. Everyone hears the calling, few are chosen. Well, it's not that few are chosen, it's few actually take the calling seriously. Some people think it's just their own mind messing with them, playing tricks on them. It's like, no, that was a calling, and you were asked to do something, and you didn't get up off your butt to do it, so it's okay. Another calling will come. But that one's now going to someone else. You missed that opportunity, that chance. That could have done something for you in your future, but now you got to wait. You'll go through that suffering a little bit longer until you can finally give yourself back, put yourself back into devotional service to work for others, not worried about what's going to happen in the end for yourself. How is that even possible? Well, knowing that the end of our lives is not the end, but just it's a transition, you know, like, do you ever stop and think in your lifetime, do you remember when you transitioned from birth to being an infant wearing a diaper? Do you remember that transition? Do you remember the transition of being an infant to a toddler when you started walking around, started learning your words for the first time? Do you remember that transition? Do you remember the transition of going from a toddler to a preschooler? You start learning about your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and learning about books and reading and all this fascinating things that are going on that you had no idea what was happening because you were just living in nature, right? But did you remember transitioning, going from preschool to kindergarten? I mean, at that point, then we had years where we would graduate, right? And then throughout our school year, you know, we transition every year from one grade to the next. But do you remember, you know, that actual transition on what it did to your body, your mind, your soul? Was there really any difference on you being in first grade and you being in second grade, except that the work got harder and more challenging, and you were able to then just obtain more knowledge? The same thing you were doing since before. Just obtaining knowledge, but this is just more, right? Did you remember that transition of going from a baby to a teen, or going from a baby to an adult? Do you remember that transition move, right? People go to the gym every day. I was watching this video, right? And they were saying how people go to the gym every day, right? And they go stand in front of that mirror, and they never see any results, no change, right? Because they're going every day, and they're looking at themselves every day. There is no change. But guarantee, if you did your day one right? Like this is my day one going into the gym, and now this is my 1 year after I've been going to the gym all the time. Bam, now you see that change, right? That's all that is. Going from life to the afterlife, all it is another transition, right? Do you notice how long my hair grows every day? No. You just know my hair is long, but only a couple years ago, or well, I guess about 5 years ago, I shaved my head completely bald. And then within 2 years, it all grew back. And right now, it's at that like stunted phase where, you know, it's long and it's still growing, but it ain't growing like the first 2 years where it went from being bald-headed to already back to having hair below my shoulders, you know, all in 2 years. Being able to pull it back in a ponytail. We don't see those transitions on it every day. It's like that whole saying, you know, you can't see the forest for the trees, right? You don't see the forest when you're in the trees because all you see is nothing but trees all around you. But if you take a step back, you know, from the airplane, you see, wow, that's the jungle I was in? Oh my God. It wasn't even a forest, it was a jungle, right? So it's really interesting on the perspective that we all look at in life and the different fears that we cause ourselves. You know, we fear this transition. Did you fear going from some people feared going from 5th grade to 6th grade, right? Like, oh man, this is going to be weird now. I'm going to middle school. I'm going to be with these older kids now. Or imagine like your first day going into being a freshman in high school, right? Or transitioning into college, right? It's like your first day, you don't know anyone, you don't know what's going on, you don't even know how to get to the cafeteria on campus, you got to find out everything, all brand new, right? Well, it's all that unknown stuff. It's the unknown that causes us to have fears. But once you know, like, oh, that's where the cafeteria is. Oh, this is where else I can get food from if I don't want to go to the cafeteria. You know? That's all it is. You know, once you learn about the afterlife or that transition, and you understand that through life, we have these 4 stages of suffering, and in the afterlife, there's got to be 4 more stages of enlightenment in order to either bring us through so we don't have to come back again, or we cycle back through to the cycle of birth and death once again. And I don't know if I should have said that word, because that word can ding me here on the live feed, which is so dumb. You get dinged all the time, and I don't know if anyone's commenting yet. Let me actually turn the video on here. I'm going to try to go as long as I can today with these the drop of water here. We have 1 batch of 37. We're working on this next batch here of 37, which puts us up to 74, if my math is correct. So then I only need to make 1 more batch of 37, which will put us over that 100 mark. And then we'll have extras for like this Saturday, and I can continue working after that point. So I'm going to do my best to finish up another 37 here later on today, and get the 100 clear done. And then I'm not sure if I can go live or not. I was thinking that it might be kind of cool to show you guys what it's like at a glass supply shop, you know? I don't know if they want to be on camera or not. So, but I can kind of show you guys, you know, the different array of glass, and just, oh my gosh, I wish that I could just afford a stick of color from every little assortment, right? But just so you know, colored glass is $60 a pound. Clear glass is about $6 a pound. So that's the huge difference in us when we're making something with a clear glass compared to colored glass. If it's more color, and you're going to be paying a lot more for it. And the thing is, though, is most glass artists are very forgiving in that, and we don't charge. Like, you know, you got one piece that's all clear glass, and you got another piece that's the same size, all color. You know, we're not going to charge you 10 times the amount and be like, well, this is $10, but this one here is 100. Like, we'll be like, oh no, this one's 10, but this one's got all color pretty much in it. We'll do that one for like 50 or 60. You know, so there's a huge difference in the color market. But then also when we mark up pricing, you know, compared to clear glass items, that color glass, you don't really get your value for it. You know, it's just all in, it all comes out in the wash. You know, like with the drop of water, gifting out thousands of drops. I don't know exactly how many each one I have to sell in order to recoup that loss or whatever. It just all comes out in the wash, you know. And I don't know how I would even determine that as far as a loss, you know, as business loss. I don't give receipts to every individual that I've gifted. It's not like that. You know, this is very heartfelt gift. This comes straight from my heart to yours. When I gift you, if I personally gift you, usually you and I will both be in tears by the end of the gifting ceremony. It's usually that heartfelt. It is a very powerful symbol. And even though this is a simple thing that I can just replicate over and over and over again, once I have been able to properly bless these and then to be able to share story with individuals and find out, like, oh, wow, you were there. You are a water protector. Okay, like let me stop trying to sell you anything, and may I have the honor to gift you this. For being a water protector, for dedicating your lives to protecting water, may I please honor you with the gift of the drop of water. And when that happens, they get so taken back because they're being recognized for doing something that they know we're all supposed to be doing. But they know that we're all not doing what we're supposed to be doing. So they know that this little bit, this guy, this stranger that they don't even know, is honoring them and actually acknowledging what they've done, what they've been through, what they put themselves through, the sacrifice that they've endured. And that them themselves, you know, maybe others don't take them seriously when they call themselves a water protector. But when another individual can call you a water protector just the same way as someone is saying your honor or your majesty or sire, when you give water protector that label, that prestigious label, like you are a true environmentalist. You are the cream of the crop, the top of the supreme. You are the best of the best when it comes to being an environmentalist. You don't just talk the talk. You walk the talk. You take action. You are an activist. You take action. You know, some people, they just pray to God. Others will pray for God, ask for more, and accept all that comes. Whether it's more strife or blessings, knowing that God will never give us more than we can't handle. Right? This should have been our talk on Sunday. I'm like bringing y'all to church today. All because of water. And why is that? Because we are all drops of water. Our souls, our eternal spirit souls, we are all drops of water in this vast ocean of life. Our eternal spirit souls are all connected through source, through that great mystery, the great spirit, through God, Krishna, Vishnu, that we're all connected in that way. that we're all drops of water in this vast ocean of life. Water is life, and every drop counts. That's my own personal quote. That's my own personal saying. That's a message that came to me from Creator that I'm meant to share with you all while I'm here on this planet. That we are all drops of water in this vast ocean of life. And water is life. We're all part of the ocean of life. We're all drops of water. Every drop counts. You count, I count, our existence counts. So the powers that be want to make you feel so tiny, so minuscule, so insignificant. But no, without you, without your eternal spirit soul here, many would have already succumbed, many would have already perished. You have helped out many throughout your time. And what's interesting too is that I'm talking to everyone, including those who aren't trying to be helpful. You also help us in many ways by teaching us, learning through example, by teaching us the ways of what not to do, the ways that don't work. So even your ways that go against the right way still help. And that's one conversation that's coming up, that a new person I subscribed to yesterday goes by Cinema Shogun, I believe. I hope that I got that right. I don't even know his name yet, but I'd like to actually get to know him in real life and connect with him. Maybe I can start emailing him and stuff. But he's one of those guys like me that, you don't take any BS, you don't take no crap. You speak the truth, and I'm sorry, but sometimes truth hurts, but truth will always prevail. And if you try to sugarcoat truth, sometimes that doesn't help the situation, It just prolongs it. Like, you might as well just get right to the point. Let people know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and just say it. Speak right from the heart. And don't hold back. Don't be scared. Don't have no fear. The fear of the unknown. Not sure on how others may react. Is that going to crush your ego and your pride if they don't react to you in the way you were hoping? Is that what's going to happen? Your little ego and your little pride going to get crushed down because they didn't agree with what I was saying. All them sheeple. Living for today. They may say you're a dreamer, but you're not the only one. I know one day you will join us. Then someday we shall live as one. Right? Right back to that great ocean. The ocean of life. Alright, let me get this video up. I keep saying I want to read comments just in case. I know I don't got people who follow me live. I know that. I'm only at 633 subscribers, but just a couple weeks ago, I was only at, I was barely pushing that I was like 483. I was like, oh man, it's going to take a minute. Maybe I can get to 500 by March. Bam. I did a live stream and was showing something maybe I shouldn't have been showing. But that brought me up to many different subscribers. And now I see I got some subscribers that come in and some are leaving. Maybe they don't like what I have to say. Some people don't like the truth. They like to live in bliss. Ignorance is bliss. I used to love that ignorance way back in the day. You know, when I was growing up, I actually pretended to be a lot more ignorant than I really was because I didn't want the teachers to call on me in class. That felt embarrassing. For some reason, I don't know, just talking in front of the class and always being the one with the right answer. You're like, oh, look at, there's the teacher's pet, right? They always make fun of you. Oh, look at that nerd. He always knows all the answers. Little schooly, little bookworm, whatever they want to call you, right? This is back in the 80s when I was growing up going to school. So I held back. I didn't want people to know my true potential and what I really, really knew. So I held back for so long, to the point where people actually thought I was really dumb. They would have stupid conversations with me, you know, and it finally dawned on me that I had done that to myself, that I lowered my level of knowledge. I lowered my level, my playing field, to be on their playing field. And I finally realized, like, later on in life, like, oh, okay, I'm just a little bit more advanced than some others in my way of thinking. Maybe because I'm an Aquarian. I don't know. Some people say that Aquarians kind of tend to always be in the future. You know, we're not really here. We're a little bit detached from what's going on in the now because we're so concerned about what's going to happen then or soon or later. Like, you know, in the next 20 years, how's my life going to unfold? And what's going to happen with everything that unfolds around it, too? You know, I'm paying attention to everything that's going on, the Elon Musk, the World Economic Forum, the Klaus Schwabs, and all the different people, you know, the Kissingers and the BlackRocks and all the people. Paying attention to what's going on. We're seeing where money should go, although if you have any morals, you wouldn't want to invest in anything so dark and sinister. So you really, really then have to understand where you're placing your money, who and what you choose to serve. Devotional service works that way. You can choose to serve, or you can just have it chosen for you. Even Bob Dylan knew about that. You have to serve somebody. Because it might be the devil, or it might be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. I don't know if you guys listen to any Bob Dylan or not, or know that song, but we all got to serve somebody. And it might be the devil, and it might be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. So even if you're trying not to help others, like I was saying, there's individuals who have helped us by not helping others, and we're learning through your example on what not to do. You know, sometimes I have to look at my parents in that way and be like, well, they didn't really go out of their way to teach me about life and how to do finances and how to connect with Creator, with the Lord, with God, with how to know about energy, vibration, frequency, none of that. You know, all I was taught was how to survive, how to make money. This is what you have to do to earn a living. You have to just make money. You know, I was told that if you don't earn like at least, and this was back in the day, in the 90s, like if you don't earn at least $100 on a day, it's really hard to get by. Now it's probably $200 a day. If you really want to be earning about $200 each day, in order to really be able to comfortably live, sustain, and get through. Especially right now with the current events and the food crisis, the rising prices, so many different things that are going on that have been planned. It's all been planned, you guys. I will guarantee you that. You know, I will say that with my own life on the line, that this has all been planned. So much is going on. You know, they ruined topsoil recently. In the last several years, individual farmers sold out. They were told that if they stopped production on their farms and stopped the workers, stopped all the machinery, and just quit right then and there, that they would get paid 2 to 3 times what they would normally be getting for their previous years in harvest. So let's just keep numbers simple. Let's say they made $1 million last year, and then this group came in and said, hey, we're going to pay you $2 to $3 million if you just stop production right now. Which farmer wouldn't stop production? You don't have to pay your workers anymore. I mean, you pay them now, right? But you don't have to have workers on the field anymore, right? You don't have to run your machines. You just pay them for the next season. You don't have to run any fuel costs or nothing like that. You're not polluting anything by running anything. You can now take a vacation, take your family and go elsewhere, not worry about next year's harvest or season or planting season or anything. Because maybe they just compensated you for 2 years. You're like, man, I just made 3 times as much. We're good for the next 2 years, right? And these people then, they went in and they, on some of the fields, they extracted 1 foot of the topsoil, basically scraped it right off their farm, removed it, put it into containers, and shipped it off to China. And now, we're hearing about, well, I don't know about you, but those of us who are staying in the know, who know how to pay attention to the reports, you know, the actual news reports and information that you should be paying attention to, not the mainstream media ones, and getting the true data and information out there from other reliable sources, you start learning that they have this thing going around called valley fever. I don't know if you heard about valley fever. This is the first time I'm bringing it up in any of my videos, I think. Do you know about valley fever? Because what happens is it's caused from the fungi that's underneath the soil. It's been something that's happened with the soil to where the underneath is getting disturbed and causing the spores. So if you know about mushrooms, they have spores, and these spores fly around. That's how they then plant themselves in many other places. Also, people don't realize that underneath the earth is nothing but a fungi or fungus like highway or layer that connects the earth entirely, all the vegetation and everything. They all need this mycelium. It actually helps them with growing. It helps with the root growth and strength and everything. So this is everywhere underneath the soil. But apparently, if the soil gets disturbed and these spores get pulled up to the surface, then they can become airborne, and then they float around and they get into people. And what happens when you have spores of fungi or fungus getting into you, it wreaks havoc. So now valley fever is going around and people are getting this and not knowing what to do about it. And people aren't putting 2 and 2 together that the farmers just in the last 3 years sold out for 2 to 3 times their value in order to allow a company to come in and tell them to stop. And then they allow them to scrape 1 foot of their topsoil. It takes like, I don't know how long, 10 years to establish your topsoil, especially if you're not doing permaculture growing. If you're just doing annual crop rotation and farming, that's not permaculture, you know? And so, you know, there's just a lot that goes into trying to keep your soil healthy. And once you removed all that topsoil, like, good luck now. You're going to replace a foot of topsoil along your whole entire acreage? That's a lot. So now China has all of the United States, or not all, but a lot of United States good topsoil to grow in. How awesome is that? Do you guys remember when just randomly years ago people were getting these seeds from China just randomly in the mail, and some people were planting them? Well, do you think that maybe that they were simply just seeing, like, do our plants, does these species of plant grow in U.S. topsoil before we acquire it? We want to see, or is it poisonous to our plants? So I don't know. People don't know how to connect dots these days. People are too distracted with sports, worrying about the next episode of whatever their favorite TV show is. The tell-lie vision is always on constantly, telling you lies. And unless you know how to decipher and understand how commercials work and marketing and promotions and business 101 and sideways sales and product launch formulas and how you do problem solution paths, all of these strategies on business 101. If you don't understand all of that, then you really don't know how to pay attention to what's going on, because it's foreign to you. It's jargon. You don't understand any of what I just said. But those of you who are into business and know about business 101, all y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's all this has been, is a simple sideways sell. Just a product launch formula. A simple problem solution path. That's all this has all been. But what path? Where are we headed? Do you know? Do you care? You know, I got a lot of family members who think that I'm just some crazy guy with the kooky ideas, right? I should have a. Where's my tinfoil hat? I keep forgetting to bring it. But yeah, I got a lot of family members who just laugh at me. They try to ridicule me, and they don't realize that I'm like over here just like, wow, you're really that ignorant? Wow. My own relatives, like, maybe our family shouldn't continue on. If my relatives are as stupid as they are, and they don't pay attention to what I'm saying, you know, maybe our lineage don't need to exist no more. But then again, you got people like me with children like I have who are extremely aware and extremely more gifted and more far advanced. You know, I can say that because confidently I can say that. I have a 10-year-old who's in 6th grade. Most 6th graders are 12. Right? Most of her peers are still in 4th grade. You know, she's a year or two advanced. Like, literally, she is advanced. Mentally. Scholastically, she is advanced. And also through the whole hard knocks of life, knowing what's going on, having a father like me, teaching her the truth of what's going on and letting her know. We will learn everything that they're teaching you in school, but that's just a little bit, because they want to keep you limited with only this much knowledge when there's a vast amount of knowledge everywhere. You know, the one thing that I can't wait is to get my child into reading the Vedas and the true science of life and all those books that I have in my collection. I don't have them all, but I have a ton of books that come straight sacred knowledge from way back, which will teach her a lot. Teach her the sacredness of water, of life, of the eternal spirit soul, of everything. Beautiful. To teach her not to fear the afterlife or the next or the transition, which, you know, it's awesome. My 10-year-old actually says she doesn't fear it. She understands there's a transition and that we are eternal already. That's a beautiful thing. If you can do that with your children, you've done a lot for their souls. help them get through the suffering that we all must endure in this life. And then it puts them on a path on understanding their stewardship, on how they are here to help Creator, that they are co-creators. And then basically, my child's already an environmentalist, and loves to protect the animal species and just has this profound love for life. When I took my child to the forest and the mountains for the first time up in Taos, New Mexico, my child dropped tears simply because of the vast beauty of it. I will never forget that. That was so beautiful. That was so beautiful to watch my child drop tears of joy. Like, wow. It hit her heart. It hit her soul in that way. Because she's so connected. And that's the beauty of being able to be connected or understand or to learn that connection and learn how to build that connection. One thing that I like to remind people is that we're all connected. Like I said, we're all Hindu or indigenous to this planet. It doesn't matter which continent you're from, whether you're just from Turtle Island or some other island. It's all part of Pangea. It was all connected before, right? Is the true Turtle Island actually Pangea? And then now they're trying to segregate, All these Native Americans are trying to segregate individuals who aren't from the Americas. But yet they're still separating those who are from Canada and those from Mexico and South America. It's like, wait, no. This is all the Americas. We're all Native American here. Of course, if your family is not from here, then, you may be German or Irish or Polish or, Swiss, whatever you're from, whatever continent that your family comes from or ancestors reside from. But then, there's also the mixed mutts like me. I'm a mixed mutt here, where, my mother was Cota, or from the lineage of De Cota, which is from Mexico, I believe. And then also the Gardunos, my last name is Garduno, which comes from Portugal, but we came through in the way of Mexico, so then somewhere we got mixed in with the Mexican, and so we are known as the Gardunos of Mexico, Although there's a book that says we actually came through Florida. That's a whole other topic. Called Arroyo Hondo. There's a book called Arroyo Hondo. It's written by a Garduno, so you can read that sometime, and you can actually learn about our history of the two original brothers, the Garduno brothers, who were here in New Mexico around the Albuquerque area, and one of them went north, the other one stayed behind. His brother went looking for work up in the Rockies and ended up getting kidnapped or taken prisoner or held captive or whatever, however you want to say it, and basically held captive by, I think, the Cherokee tribes that were from Oklahoma. And one night, I guess there was a native female who took a liking to my ancestor and helped him to escape one night when all of the men were out hunting, and helped him escape. Gave him a horse, and the two of them rode off towards the Rockies, and she showed him the way, and then he went on his own way and went up there towards I think southern Colorado, San Antonio area. There's lots of churches, steeples, bridges that my ancestor helped to build. So we have a history through that whole region, and then he came back down south to look for his brother, find his brother, and where they connected somewhere, which they then purchased land or they took and stole land. I know that there's natives who've been here long before the Spanish settlers came in, And so they may have took land from a part called Arroyo Hondo, which is up there north of Taos, New Mexico, just south of Colorado. So my ancestor went up there towards Colorado region and then came back down and built some things throughout there. And there's a book written on it, so it's cool to read the history on that. So I don't know if I have any actual land, if our family actually has land in Arroyo Hondo now, because that was actually a land grant or a land, I think it was a land grant. So it was given, I think, to the people in order to preserve it as a wild, like it's so beautiful. The water running through, beautiful creek, horses everywhere. It's so beautiful up there in Arroyo Hondo. And then you got to drive through there in order to get to the Dunn Bridge, where people go. You can go jumping off the rocks. You can go find the hot spring that's there, or go swimming in the river, go fishing, all kinds of stuff. It's really cool there, out there by Taos. So with that being said, I'm done with 37 for today. I'm gonna let these cool, and then I'll put them into our batch here, which actually, if I put 37 in here, that's just going to fill this up entirely. So what I need to do is get my actual folder. It's just a big bag, and that way I can hold 100 of these in there. And then hopefully today I can go get my supplies, and we'll be making. I need to get more cobalt, so I need the really big cobalt rod, which is like this tube here, kind of. Something like this. Uh-oh. Hopefully that wasn't the hot one. I think that was a hot one. I don't know. I gotta pick that up now, because that might be hot glass on the floor. Where did it go? I don't know. But I'm gonna let y'all go. And maybe I can go live in the glass studio or glass supply shop later, and show you guys what's going on. So love and blessings. Thanks for watching. I'm Dan the Glassman. This is the Glassman's World, and I'm out. You guys have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching. Remember, water is life. Every drop counts. Remember, we're all drops of water in this vast ocean of life. That means you count, I count. Every drop counts. We'll see you soon.